Okay, I may be on right now. Not sure just yet. Gotta check a couple of things before I do that. All right, just give me a second here. If I am streaming and everybody's watching. Oh goodness. Let's see. Well, I might not be live. Let's see. Oh, well. Hmm. All right. It says I'm live for a minute now. Huh. Oh, wait, there it is. Why is it private? That's dumb. Oh, well, I don't get that. Hell, let me see. Enable slow mode. Yeah. Let me restart this here in a second. Okay. All right, I think I'm going to stop this one and come back and start all over. Let's see. and my mic muted this whole time, and I've been chatting. Oh my gosh. So anyway, as I was saying, that the plan was to just kind of watch this debate. Well, as I laid in bed. Oh my gosh, my mic is super hot. At least it says it is. Fix that. So anyway, and I thought I was just gonna relax, maybe fall asleep to watching this debate. But I figured,
all right,
well,
YouTube.
Stop you for a second, Dave. But I thought I would just go ahead and watch this and do a stream longer than I probably should. And if anybody wanted to come in on the debate, I've put my Discord in the description box, and hopefully it's there. Let's see. I don't think I'm showing live just yet. Hold on. Okay. Well, it says it's private. Why is it private? Why does it say it's private? What the hell? Broadcast alert. No. I don't need that. Well, anyway, I may in fact be doing this on my own without anybody. Let me do this. I know what I can do. Maybe. Oh, maybe not. Let me just actually go check to make sure that this thing is live. I know what I can do. Okay. All right. Let me see if maybe it showed up on Twitter. Holy crap. All right. Well, I will put it. I'll tweet it out. Why not, right? Well, let me tweet it out a different way. Well, so one of the things that I've had to do, one of the things I had to do was I had to I did have my Yeti mic on a boom stand, but it eventually didn't work out. So I've had to put the Yeti mic back on its original base, and I'm not all that happy about it. I'm actually well, I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm distraught, but I ain't none too happy about it. None too happy. All right, so let's see what's going on here.
This is it. All of you out there in the digital universe have been waiting for this, and especially on the Twitter, the anonymous people and the furry cats and the green frogs and the rest of you, you've all wanted this. So I want to set a couple things up before I mention and I say hello to my guests today. I'm sitting between two people that I consider friends, two people that I respect, two people that were brave enough to not just fight about things online and from the comforts of anonymity, but two people who were willing to sit across from each other with serious disagreements, with some bad blood there and some things being said already, but were willing to come here and talk about everything that we're going to talk about for the next hour. And to me, that already is a win for everything that's going on in the country these days, everything that's going on online these days, and everything else. Beyond that, the three of us, or you know what, I'm going to do some intros first. So, of course, you guys know Candace Owens, RedPillBlack. Candace was a guest on this show just about 3 weeks ago, and I think that was one of the things that kind of put you on the map. And then literally about 4 or 5 days later, it seems that this whole explosion about what social autopsy is, or what it was, kind of happened. Anyway, welcome back to the Rubin Report. I didn't know it was going to happen that quickly.
Real quick, for full disclosure on my part, I saw her initial, I had to make sure I wasn't muted. Her initial appearance on the Rubin Report. And I'll be honest with you, that whole thing about social autopsy, I did not really catch. You know, I was kind of passively paying attention, you know, not a lot. So I didn't really look into it. And I'll be honest with you, Tree of Logics and a couple of other videos that came out got me into, gave me some understanding of what that was all about. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of... This should be interesting. Is this somebody that follows me? I don't even know who follows me anymore. There's a lot of people, and I don't really have a lot of followers, but this one, I just tweeted out, I'm live, join me in the discussion. And they said, okay. And I guess we'll find out as to whether or not they actually join me on the discussion. Because, again, my Discord is in the description. It did work out. Anyway. And some other videos brought to light that the thing with social autopsy had been covered before by Monday Matt and Chris Reagan. I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually remember those videos now that because I remember seeing those videos. But anyway, it just didn't dawn on me. I got into a couple of, I got into one particular disagreement with one guy who just refused to believe that her technology would dox anybody. And there was enough videos out there to prove that hers was actually collecting information. And it was whether or not the technology could actually dox somebody, like the information could actually be accessed and put out there. The fact of the matter is that her website was collecting data on people. Not good.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy you're hosting this.
Yeah. And to my right is Blair White, who is a friend of mine who has been on the show a couple of times. And third time now. You have entered. That is a rare group.
Is it?
That is a rare. I think we have a couple 4-timers, but you might be the 1 3-timer right now.
We'll go for 4 next time.
We will definitely go for 4. But you are an absolutely outspoken and I think irreverent fighter against so many of the forces that I'm fighting against all the time. And both of you, I think, are fearless defenders of the things that you care about. Just a couple other quick things. I think that the 3 of us sitting here, if I dare use a little of identity politics against itself for a moment.
Gay, trans, black?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. A black conservative, a trans woman who really leans right. If not, I don't know if you call yourself a conservative.
Yeah, it's easiest.
Okay, so we've got a black conservative, a trans conservative,
yeah, works out good enough.
A gay liberal, but I'm an old school liberal, which is everything against identity politics these days. And I know none of us care about that stuff per se, but I think it's important just to put it out there that we're doing this, and that in and of itself is a little bit of a statement right there. And we're doing this face to face. And more importantly than anything else, perhaps, we all were lefties.
Yes.
We all were on the other side of...
Why does this even matter? You know, this is probably one of the few times I've just got to really worry about, or not worried, but concerned why this is even being brought up. You're not identitarians, yet you decided to stop your broadcast, postpone the debate to talk about everybody's identity. For shit's sake.
Perhaps where we're at now politically.
Yeah, it was wildly different.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah, that's not that long ago. You were wildly different.
18 months ago.
18 months ago, and I've kind of had a slow evolution over these last couple years. And I think all of those things are worth saying because I think actually that there's a lot that we do agree on, and hopefully we can get to some of that. But I know you guys are watching because you want to find out more about what actually happened with Candace's website, Social Autopsy. Now, she explained this fully to me when we sat down about a month ago.
Yeah, it should be
Super
known.
clear.
We're both adults. You know, you're a grown man.
No, we're definitely adults. I just think it's interesting how you act like you're above the ad hominems and you're above attacking someone when in reality, you and I both know that the situation is you're using those pronouns and you're saying what you're saying, calling me a grown man.
That's not an attack, that's a fact.
Let me finish that. You're doing that in a way to be passive-aggressive and petty, but in a way that your audience doesn't actually read, because you do have the very hardcore conservative audience, and so they're not really going to read it as petty. Everyone else will.
Well, and I can get where Candace is coming from on it. Because even Blair has admitted that biologically she is male. But I also understand why Blair prefers to be called a she. And in the case of Blair, I would say, yeah, that's a she, because the perception is, when I see Blair, the perception is that she looks male. And that's why I call her she. I don't do that for Riley Dennis, because Riley Dennis, Justin, does not look like a she. Just looks like a very effeminate man, and I use that word loosely, who is prancing around as feminine as he can be without actually transitioning. Anyway, back to the program.
No, I don't want them to think that this is a cat fight between two girls. It's not. I'm saying
That's
that
the
you are.
dumbest thing I've ever
No,
heard.
it's very important, because
It really isn't, though. But we can move on, because it really isn't about how she dresses.
me and
I really
biology
don't care
think you're a
about that.
man. I'm happy to call you
That's
a she for the
totally
rest,
fine.
so that we can move on from the pronoun thing and
All right,
answer your question.
So you're
I would
happy to
say,
call me
look,
she, but you have
look.
to start by calling me man. Okay, that
But I want to make it clear, because I don't want to have to afterwards say, if you are, this is your stance on trans, why did you sit across from a trans person and call them she? So I am making it clear, because as we know, you guys like to dig up every single thing that I do and every single
How have I
mannerism.
dug up everything you've done? Out of everyone, Candace, there's been a lot of YouTubers that have come out against you. So I actually have a question before we go.
Candace, your most ardent fans are apologists for you. You wouldn't have to explain a damn thing to your fans. They do all the explaining for you.
Out of all the YouTubers who have dug stuff up about you, I never made a video. I'm a YouTuber. If I don't think
You
something...
jumped on a video.
I jumped on a
It was
video.
a 4-hour stream.
Which I
okay?
was on for probably 15 minutes.
An
with my
hour and
friends.
15 minutes, exactly.
I was not on a stream for an hour and 15
You were
minutes.
on for
I
an
know
hour
Why
and
is
15
time
minutes until Barbara
relevant?
came on the stream. I watched
I was
it,
not
and
on for an hour and 15
All right,
minutes.
so let's do this. Let's just to clean this up, so we don't. I just don't want to get too lost in the weeds of every little word. I think. Look, you guys know my feelings about free speech.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what to say,
Right.
how to refer to Blair, and Blair can obviously defend herself. We can do all that, but just so we don't get too lost in that stuff, let's just try to stick to the original
Right.
story here. I think it's fine that you premised it that way. You defended yourself. I think that's totally fine. But we could end up in the back part of this forever.
Correct.
So let's just get to the how did this whole thing start?
Okay, so the backstory to the backstory, obviously you know about social autopsy, but there's a very relevant part of this, which is essentially that when I was in high school, I had an experience that happened to me, and it's something that I like to talk about factually, and I hate talking about it because it involves other people, and I'm out here talking about my opinions, my beliefs. When you're involving other people, I think it's a little unfair. When I was a junior in high school, I received one night I was sitting on a couch with my boyfriend, and I received anonymous phone calls. And at the end of watching Talladega Nights with my boyfriend, I picked up the phone, I listened to the voicemails, and they were people, 4 boys, that were screaming back and forth, calling me a dirty nigger, saying we're going to tar and feather your family, saying we're going to do to you like we did to Martin Luther King, put a bullet in the back of your head, made references to Rosa Parks. It was really probably the nastiest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. No. After hearing that, and by the way, this is not a victim story, it's just something that factually happened that you guys can all research. After hearing those voicemails, I went to school the next day, and I didn't call the cops or anything, but I was a little terrified because I did not know 4 people that wanted to see me dead and that hated me, period. I went to school the next day. The teacher essentially we were talking in a philosophy class. I brought up what had happened. It was like a moment where it made sense to bring up what happened the night before. And the teacher jumped up and said, like, you're going to the principal right now. You're reporting this. Like, that's very serious. Like, I want to take you right now. He picks me up, go into the principal's office, and she hears the voicemails, which I still had. There were 3 of them. And she made the decision to call the police. Like, totally I would have never called the police. I would have done it the night before. It turns out, by some random stroke of like super misfortune, that one of the kids that was in the car when they left these voicemails happened to be the current governor of Connecticut's son. And where this would have normally been like maybe like a tap on the finger sort of a thing, this turned into an FBI investigation. And you know, the then mayor was making comments that were very like, you know, political. It became political. So all of a sudden I'm in school and I've got the NAACP.
I'm sorry my cursor's all over the place. I'm still playing with OBS. I guess I should have put that in the in the title or description. also playing with OBS.
ACP on the front steps. I'm very, if you know anything about me, I hate the NAACP because of this. I think that they are a trash group and that they literally extort black people's emotions for pay, which is another thing. Blair, you don't know where I stand on anything for you to call me a fraudulent conservative. You don't know the things that I've lived through, so that was something that I didn't really understand.
A lot of things I don't understand too, so I have a million questions for you, because unfortunately you did have me blocked up until like 2 days ago over one tweet I sent to you. So
no, it was a live stream.
It was a live stream. I went on a live stream. First of all, it was not for an hour and 15 minutes. I hope people go and fact check that, because it's not on there for that long. That's the first thing. The second thing is, again, you had me blocked before the live stream. And we blocked before the live stream. So, and you've had a million people blocked. You've blocked everyone.
Right. I'm going to get into that. I want to finish.
I know, but I'm going to finish what I was saying first. You had a million people blocked.
So that doesn't really make sense.
No, I'm just saying I'm glad that we're actually having a conversation, because prior to this, the reason why it's actually gone to the point where I have to do on the Rubin report rather than just a quick exchange on Twitter or you making a video on your own channel is because you've blocked conversations.
So I just want to be clear. You're allowed to tweet out your trash, and I am supposed to then defend myself rather than you coming to me first for answers. Just so we're clear.
You're absolutely not supposed to defend yourself. You don't have to do anything.
Right. So you're
Yeah. Candace is absolutely not obligated to not block people for the purpose of having a conversation. But, well, let's see what she says.
Insulted that I blocked you after you insulted me publicly to, what do you have, 130,000?
So she got butthurt over an insult.
Does that even make sense to you, like saying that right now?
Candace, you have every right to block me. There's no, you can not respond, you can block me, whatever it is. What I'm saying is, people are criticizing the way that you've handled the situation. You have the backstory, which I will absolutely let you finish, but the way you're dealing with people calling out the story and calling out things that they think maybe are fraudulent, maybe they're not fraudulent, maybe you can clear that up, is you haven't actually cleared it up. You've blocked everyone. People can attest to that, everyone. Andy Worski, Bunty King, Dave Collin, who actually provided screenshots of the things he said to you. So unlike me, I can see you blocking me for calling you trash. And honestly, I'll say I'm sorry for calling you trash. That's totally fine. But as far as him, he sent like 4 or 5 very respectful tweets, just asking you for questions, asking for your side of the story. So if he made a video, he could
I would just like to, chronologically speaking, they made the videos and then asked questions. I don't do that. I don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't get to make a video about me.
What a melodramatic response. Maybe melodramatic's not the word, but it's definitely dramatic. I don't negotiate with terrorists. You just call these people who are critiquing you terrorists. You got to be shitting me on this, but whatever.
Lying, okay, YouTube and then saying, now you better come to me and answer me. Who does that? That's the opposite way of handling anything.
Hold on.
It's an expression. I don't negotiate with terrorists. Don't take it to heart. It's an expression.
I'm not taking it.
It's an expression used by people who actually mean, or who mean that they're not going to negotiate with actual terrorists.
It's hard. It's just kind of silly.
All right, hold on.
Exactly. Like it's a silly thing to say.
Hold on. We got to get the full story because otherwise there's going to be enough people watching this that still aren't clear on the full story.
Right.
That if we go too far into the follow-up, we're going to get lost here. By the way, I just really quick want to mention that when you texted me and said, I want to do this on your show and I'd like to do it with Blair, I thought about it for a minute because I wasn't even sure if I wanted to get involved in this. I think that this Twitter, YouTube drama, I think it's partly, we're all here because of just this drama machine that just endlessly drags everybody. But to both of your credit, you asked me to do it, and I texted you, and literally within 30 seconds, you said you would do it. And that's people should know that because we live in a time when no one backs themselves up; they hide. and say all this crap. So
Right.
I just want to put that out there. But let's just get through the story,
Right.
and then we can do the rest.
Long story short, this was categorized as a hate crime. The FBI was involved. I was out of school for about 6 weeks, and just imagine, like, I didn't even want to report it, and then having like what felt like your entire life. It was front page of Connecticut newspapers for 2 months of people, and a lot of the stuff that you had to read, because remember, the FBI was involved, so they wouldn't make any arrests, they wouldn't do anything because they wanted to dot their I's and cross T's. They're dealing with a politician, a Democratic politician, right? And he's not being honest. He could have easily just been like, my kid did something really stupid. He's trying to be a politician, essentially. And when these arrests were finally made, or while the investigation was going on, people were just on the internet just speculating, just like, and not being aware that they were talking about children. You know what I'm saying? I was probably the eldest. I was 17 years old. This youngest person in that car, I didn't know any of them, by the way. This was like a drunk phone call. I knew one kid out of the 4 kids. The youngest kid in that car was 14 years old. So these kids are getting called racist. And I personally, like, I hate labels like racism. I hate when you call somebody racist, sexist. It really stings me because I think it's wrong. Like, I think it's wrong that a 14-year-old got labeled a racist instead of being reprimanded or told why it was wrong. So I'm very against label. Another thing that, you know, from my history, I've always been very conservative on. Following this event, and I barely made it to college because of this. It was like something that was really taxing that happened in my senior year. And following this event, I developed severe anorexia. Like, it's a part of my story. It's something that you need to be sorry about. People that have anorexia are just looking for a way to control.
Damn it! I just realized
mechanism. So when I felt like
again.
my life was completely out of control, and people were
I almost didn't make it
basically
to
able
college.
to freely say whatever they wanted about me, and it was permanently on the internet. Like, this situation that happened, and the NAACP fighting on politicians, and nobody gave a shit about the kids that were involved in this. Nobody cared about the kids that were involved in this. I developed anorexia. I think the ringleader, they kept calling him, that like had these kids call me, went on to have like DUI.
Jesus Christ. How much? Let's see. I'm over this. I'm over this. I really am.
I felt like kids, we are in like a different generation. You're also young as well. So you have, you know, we have Instagram, Facebook. They never had this. Like you when you were in school, I'm not trying to like make it seem like you're a dinosaur,
Why, Candace,
right?
why?
You didn't have this. You didn't have, and there are 10-year-olds that are killing themselves over Snapchat, and it's all like just because of the internet. My dad, when I was growing up, my dad had a beeper. And then all of a sudden we have Facebook and Instagram, all of these things. And I thought to myself, what a way if I can come back and create something that helps kids navigate technology, right, without ruining their lives. Like, do these kids need to be arrested for saying mean things? No, I disagree with that. Like, I disagree even.
Okay, so far, unless there really is a conspiracy theory like you believe there is, or a conspiracy against you, Candace, that technology, just because you felt like you needed this is supposed to be safe or help kids navigate safely, that you felt it was okay to collect kids' information?
Even though they characterized me as the victim and characterized these children as the aggressors, I felt that it was wrong.
Okay, so you created Social Autopsy with the idea that it was sort of going to almost self-police some of the kids' ability to ruin themselves.
Right, exactly. So what we thought was, what if there was a way when kids do these like stupid things, and we initially always thought about kids. We had to change it because people said, first try it on adults, try to something a little looser because people are sensitive when it comes to children. And we said, what if there was a way that we could archive what they say with like a no-no type of a punishment, like maybe it's held for 3 months, and everybody, like all of these schools, we were meeting with principals of schools, of high schools, before we even decided what we wanted to do, to say, how can we help? What would be helpful? What do kids care about? Well, they care about being on the football team, right? What if you said, you're on Social Autopsy, all these schools have this program, you said this to Carolina, whatever it is, now you don't get to try out for the football team. Something that's like petty, you know, but better than getting arrested, right? It's better than knowing that you were a part of someone's suicide because you said something mean, and because I don't think kids have the mentality, like their brains are underdeveloped. Like our brains were underdeveloped to really understand the implications of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Social Autopsy was born. Okay.
boy.
The web developer that I was speaking to, and I was actually at the time, remember I used to work in finance, I was talking to some potential investors, and they said, as I mentioned, start with adults. Start with adults, do something like build something that we can kind of see what you're thinking of how it would work in terms of archiving things, and we'll go from there.
All right, so to be clear, and then I'm going to let you jump in, when you created this, it was basically to defend some of these kids from wrecking their lives, and schools would be able to look and maybe go, oh, you actually did have a decent track record here. You said this stupid thing, but we're not going to let that do anything. And unless I'm understanding, we have to do a little something here with definitions of words, because that what you're describing there doesn't sound to me like a doxing. A doxing website would be I'm using this site to release information about people. But you're saying basically this was going to be an archive home for schools to look at this information and sift through it. Okay.
So I think calling it an archive, I mean, it literally is an archive, but it's also a doxing website. Anytime you publish people's personal information, it is doxing.
It's not personal information.
Why not?
Because it was public.
Because it was on Facebook. That's still the definition of doxing. If you share someone else's,
no, it's not.
If you share someone,
no, it's not. You can't change the definition of doxing.
Hold on.
I actually have the definition right here.
Good.
If you share someone else's personal information without their consent, it is doxing. Especially when it comes
Google
to kids.
doxes everyone.
No, I'll finish. Especially when it comes to kids. I mean, she's definitely playing the whole wanting to protect kids thing, which I think honestly, your heart could have very well been in the right place. But the reality is, when you aggregate information of children and you attach it to where they go to school, which was the intent of your website. In fact, you actually said that it was the best time to be on the website if you were a child because it teaches you.
Can you slow? I literally can't follow you right now.
You said that it was the best time to be on your website when you're a child because it teaches them responsibility of what they say online, right? Do anything,
right?
So you're
Man. The level of snarkiness. Can you slow down? I literally can't follow you right now. Maybe your brain needs to work faster, Candace. For fuck's sakes.
You're insulted that I blocked you after you insulted me publicly to, what do you have, 130,000? Does that even...
And this has got what to do with what she just... man, let me go back just a minute here. Just in case I missed something here.
Again, you had me blocked before the live stream. And we blocked before the live stream, and you've had a million people blocked. You blocked everyone.
Right. I'm going to get into that. I want to finish.
I know, but I'm going to finish what I was saying first. You had a million people blocked,
so that doesn't really make sense.
No, I'm just saying I'm glad that we're actually having a conversation, because prior to this, the reason why it's actually gone to the point where I have to do on the Rubin report rather than just
out of school for about 6. They kept calling him that, had these kids call me, wanted to be arrested for saying mean things.
Why not?
Because it was public.
Because it was on Facebook. That's still the definition of doxing. If you share someone
else's,
no, it's not.
If you share someone,
no, it's not. You can't change the definition of doxing.
I actually have the definition right here.
Good.
If you share someone else's personal information without their consent, it is doxing. Especially when it comes
Google
to kids.
doxes everyone.
I'll finish. Especially when it comes to kids. I mean, she's definitely playing the whole wanting to protect kids thing, which I think honestly, your heart could have very well been in the right place. But the reality is, when you aggregate information of children and you attach it to where they go to school, which was the intent of your website. In fact, you actually said that it was the best time to be on the website if you were a child because it teaches you.
Can you slow? I literally can't follow you right now.
You said that it was the best time to be on your website when you're a child because it teaches them responsibility of what they say online, right?
We said that in a video. Not a single child was on there. Because,
I'm not saying there was. I didn't say there was.
Yeah, because we didn't want to shut off. If people asked questions, we didn't want to shut off the possibility
Candace just doesn't want to let her
having
finish.
Children. If we found out this worked and this was harmless and no harm, no foul, we didn't want to come out and say we're never going to put a minor on here, because again, the whole reason I thought of the idea was because of what happened to me when I was a minor.
Well, it's actually illegal to even put the child's information on there.
There was no children, so this is like a fantasy conversation right now.
It's not a fantasy conversation. It was your intent. So that's what you don't really understand. You think that because the website didn't actually come to fruition that people still don't have a right to criticize the idea of it. That's exactly what you think. But regardless, you made it very clear that your intent was to put that information on your website. It actually violates the Children's Internet Protection Act. So it was illegal. So that's why your Kickstarter was actually
all right, wait, hold on. So let's pause for a second.
There were no children on it. You're talking about...
I'm not saying that there was. I'm saying you had the intent.
This is a wild imagination you had. So you're saying that if this was your intent, just so we're clear, we're here because if this was your intent and if it had happened, even though it didn't, right?
Candace.
That's why we're pissed and that's why we're trying to ruin everything that you are, because we have decided that we are policing what could have, would have, and should have happened.
You admitted that was the intent. The fact that it didn't happen, thanks to Kickstarter, the fact that it didn't happen did not change that's what your end goal was. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that it didn't happen. Okay, if Kickstarter hadn't canceled you, you likely would have still completed it. So your insistence that this is something imagined isn't going to change the fact that that's what your intent was.
Correct.
How have I tried to ruin
we're dealing in coulda, woulda, shoulda.
It's not.
It didn't happen. You're admitting it didn't happen.
Candace,
But you're talking about acts.
Are you going to let me finish?
She's literally bringing up laws right
No, why would she let you finish? Why would she let you finish?
now that could have been violated, even though it wasn't violated, even though it wasn't created, because your intent is what we were criticizing. I intend to drive drunk. I don't drive drunk.
Can you let me respond?
It just makes no sense. You're not making sense.
Because you're not.
Did I do it? Yes or no?
Maybe if I could finish a sentence, you'd understand that I am making sense. But if I can't actually reveal my point to you, how are you going to?
And it's not a dox. We need to stick with the definition of dox, because that is where things went.
I do want to clear up some definitions.
Like, I need to be able to finish what I'm saying is the thing. Like, okay.
Dave's not even wanting to
Are you telling me that it's absolutely insane and it's absolutely fantasy land for someone like you to come out and you're a staunch free speech supporter, correct? You come out and you say, I support free speech. That's something you say.
When did I say that?
I
do, but I'm asking you when you said you come out and you say as if that was my whole shtick.
Gosh, when you call yourself a conservative, it's a natural implication here for freedom of speech. Now, I have no doubt that there are conservatives who wish to restrict free speech. To which point, I would say they're not conservative.
But I'm asking you, when did I say that?
I didn't say it was your whole shtick. I said that's part of who you are and what you believe is that you are in support of free speech. Do you think it's absolutely insane for someone to question someone who supports free speech?
The reason that I support free speech is because
I have to finish my question. I have a lot of questions for you. You have to let me actually ask them.
Right.
Okay. So you are someone who supports free speech. That's part of your message as a conservative, which is a great message. Do you really think it's that crazy for people to see RedPillBlack supporting free speech and then look back a year ago and see that she tried to create a website that doxed people? And you can say it wasn't doxing, but when you publish people's information,
we're going to get to the bottom. That is not true. That is categorically false.
Let's try to clean up.
I just don't understand how it's perceived to be so insane.
First,
Fantasyland.
Two questions here. First, it's important that we address doxing, and I'm going to let you do that.
Yeah. All right. So let's just one thing at a time here, because there's a lot here. So first off, we can pull up. You're welcome to pull up the definition of doxing. I think part of what's happening here is we're struggling with a couple. So as I said, splash page, which you did forward me some emails. You guys were
okay. So far, this is probably the the most critical thing I can say about Blair so far is bad debate tactic. Oh, here I have my phone. Let me look up doxing. Those are those kind of definitions you want to know before you go into a debate. That's just my opinion of it. Probably being nitpicky, but whatever.
Referring to this as a splash page the entire time.
Splash page, what she said.
Now, in essence, that may have been some confusion by your web guy. I mean, you forwarded me the whole change.
So last February, he's been calling it a splash page.
That's what her web guy was calling.
My web developer called it that.
But hold on a second.
It wasn't a splash page. A splash page is literally defined as a logo before you go into a website. You had multiple.
We were building a technology. You're not understanding this.
I'm absolutely
no, you're not. And now you can let me finish. We were building a technology, not a website. So what he was saying is, this is a splash. This is a splash of what we were actually. We never built it. That's the whole point you're missing. When you're building a technology.
Okay. So did you?
No. It's not that you didn't build it. It's that you didn't complete it. Okay. A frame to a house can be built on the foundation and then be left uncompleted. Incompleted. Your splash page was the foundation. The back page, where you could still enter people's information, for all intents and purposes, was the frame of the house. Just because you didn't get the walls, the ceiling, the roof, the kitchen island completed, doesn't mean that nothing was built.
Or did you not have a database of 20,000 plus people? That's what you've stated. There are two statements you said. There's a database of 20,000 plus people, and that it was a non-functioning splash page. One of those statements can be true. Which one is true?
What do you mean? It was not. You're not missing the point.
I think
this is what he's trying to tell you.
Hold on.
They're
getting hung up. You're getting hung up on splash page. You're not listening to the fact that he's telling you that he read the emails between me and the web developer. You're not listening to that.
Candace,
I'm absolutely
hang on, guys. Candace, what I think people are confused by is, regardless of the splash page, if it was non-functioning, how did it in fact collect the information of 20,000 people?
Right. It didn't collect the information. If people are writing in the information, it was storing it. It was an archive.
Okay, hold on. So
oh my gosh! So we're going to parse parse the meaning of maybe I'm using that word incorrectly, between collecting and archiving. Dummy, that's what an archive is. It's a collection. Oh my gosh.
Just
storing or collecting.
All right, let's just get
you
some of this
understand what
here.
I'm saying about the splash?
Yeah,
we never built the technology.
Okay,
Candace, you said there was a database, and then you said all it ever was a non-functioning splash page.
I didn't say that. I literally quoted. I did say that. You're not listening to me. Let me finish the sentence. I did say that, but you're not listening to me.
Let her finish a sentence. Candace, you can't ask to be allowed to finish a sentence when you're not letting your debate opponent, finish a sentence.
My web developer, I forwarded him all the emails from February. Did you not see these?
No,
He called it a non-functioning splash.
She didn't even tape it. Oh gosh, this is funny.
Because we hadn't yet built the technology.
Okay, so
you're making it seem like I'm a liar. And that's what I wasn't okay with. It was something that was told to me by my web developer, and
if there was a database, it's not a non-functioning splash page. So are you willing to take it back that it was a non-functioning splash page?
I am more than happy to admit, and like I said to Dave.
Okay.
Okay, so wait, hold on. I think
you didn't let me say anything there. You just said go ahead and go. Let me finish my statement.
Okay, then go.
I am more than happy to admit that when I stated that, I said that. I regurgitated verbatim, and he saw the emails, what my web developer called it as soon as we started. He said, because we're not building technology yet, you don't have the money to. We had to raise money to build the technology.
You said it was fully funded.
Okay, hold on.
No, it wasn't. I never said it was fully
Guys,
funded.
guys, hang on one second. So, all right, so I think that's an important distinction, what we just got to there. I am agreeing with you, and I think Blair will take my word for it that I saw the emails that your web developer referred to it as a non-functioning splash page, but you're also acknowledging that that's not quite right.
Yeah, and that's
that
fine.
It did actually,
right. It's directly not true.
Okay, but see, the problem with you saying it's not true is that you're making it seem like I'm a liar. I was never a liar. I said what was told to me from the very
at the very least, you're not completely honest. I mean, I'm not going to call you a liar. I'm not in your home. I'm not a fly on the wall there. But at the very least, yeah, I would have to say you're not being completely honest.
Time that we started this, what my web developer called it from start to finish, I said exactly what was told to me. The issue is that you're making it seem like I intentionally lied to try to hide something. That's the problem. You don't get to call somebody a liar and a fraud ass bitch, which is what you called me 1,000 times. You're a fraud ass bitch, fraud bitch. I told you exactly what my web developer told me.
Well, I wish I could say I wouldn't go as far as calling you a fraud ass bitch, but in the context of this live stream, I would dare say that some of your actions and how you've said things are at the very least seemingly fraudulent.
10 you're above the ad hominems. Meanwhile, on your Twitter right now, you called YouTubers who are criticizing you bottom feeders. You called Tree of Logic a crackhead. You called
what? You called Tree of Logic a crackhead? With what evidence?
I genuinely think she's on drugs.
Okay, that's fine.
She said I was releasing a doxing site in 3 weeks, and she was scared for her life. That's definitely not living with normal reality.
That is a bit.
Yeah, that phrase right there had tones of some black guy involved. You know what? I like Tree. If I'd like to think that if we knew each other more personally, Tree and I might be friends, but that's irrelevant. Knowing what I know of Tree, based on what she has said on her own channels, assuming that she's being completely honest with everything, she has a lot of reasons to fear being doxxed. And the fact that she's concerned with being doxxed does not make her a crackhead, does not mean she's on drugs. You know, you can probably say a lot of other things, but drug-addled, I don't think so.
Foul of a rumor to spread.
It's not a rumor.
How
She
is it
just
not
said
a
I was
rumor?
using a doxing
How
site
is it
in
not
3
a rumor?
weeks.
Hold on, guys.
How are you? Who
Candace.
do you defend? This is what I don't understand.
Candace,
She's
hold
right now
on.
defending an
She can-
alt-right sympathizer that straight up said that
Why are you talking to Dave? Dave's not debating you.
I was releasing a doxing site in 3 weeks. That is the ground zero of this entire predicament. That she
Right,
could
she started
spread
it, not
fear.
Richard Spencer. Not Richard Spencer, like you said.
I did
Okay,
not say
all right,
I said
guys,
perpetuate.
guys.
Do you know the definition of perpetuate?
You
Guys,
said.
Do you know
guys.
the definition of perpetuate?
Okay. Perpetuated by Richard Spencer. Yeah. It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. The blame still comes back to Richard Spencer.
Yes or no? I said he
Candace,
perpetuated it.
Yeah, it still comes back to Richard Spencer. I stand by that statement.
You said that Richard Spencer made a video on you.
I said
but
he-
didn't.
I said
you
he-
said he made one. You said he made one. When he just
I said
retweeted
he
one.
perpetuated
You said, I have
a
a video.
smear campaign about me.
All right, guys,
That's
guys,
exactly
guys.
what I
Candace.
said.
Well, I may be wrong. I think Candace did say that Spencer did say Spencer did make a video about her. Do not quote me on that, because I did see the video and I'm fairly certain she said Richard Spencer made a video. Not 100% though.
I never
Guys.
said he started.
Either way, it comes back to Richard Spencer started this campaign.
Guys,
the
guys.
He said he
rumors
made a
whatsoever.
video on you, and he didn't. There's no evidence of that.
To be
he
honest,
does not have a video.
to be
up.
honest, I
He
know
does
this is
not
going to
have a video.
super hurt your egos, but I didn't watch a single one of your videos except for the Google Hangout for the first hour that you were on.
Candace, I didn't make a video on you. So
You jumped in a video
All right,
chat.
hold on,
Like,
ladies.
feed,
Live.
like
I was-
own
ladies,
it.
ladies,
It doesn't matter. You were
I
on
just
it for
said
an
I was
hour
on
and a
someone-
Now, granted, Blair probably did have something to say about Candace on this. That doesn't mean she made a video.
House is live.
hour and 15 minutes.
Guys.
Let's quote Blair. She's such a mess. This is going to be like honestly, intellectually, like it's going to
A
be hard to
mess.
get through.
A mess.
She's such a mess. The fact that anyone believes her is so sad. She's a fraud. She's a fraud. She's a fraud ass bitch. No, these are not hip hop lyrics. She's such a joke. She's so stupid. This bitch thinks she's going to change everything, and she's not. Especially
Should I be
after
doxxed
going
for
on.
I think she just talks shit about her culture.
InfoWars, which is ridiculous. The insults that she lodged towards InfoWars because they have a big audience, and to them watching, my apologies. I have a
think
lot of
I'm
respect for
insulting them
them
because they have a big audience?
Because let's keep it real. Where is she going to go after that? Some dumbass bitches are still believing her.
Candace.
For people that believed me, you are all dumbass bitches. She's a
Yeah. Candace doesn't seem to know the Blair White style of speaking. Blair does often speak outrageously. I mean, hyperbolically. Yeah. And she knows it. And most of us that watch Blair's videos understand that. So, anyway.
complete SJW, and people are so dumb. By the way, this beef with her started before she ever thought about doxing, because she literally says, from the second I saw her, I thought, wow, that's definitely an act. This is honestly
No, that's my
envy
honest
dressed
opinion.
up
All right,
as
hold on.
righteousness.
You gotta give me a chance to moderate this thing. Otherwise, we're just going to be crossed up all over.
Moderate.
Okay. So it sounds like to me, I'm just trying to get to facts here because I get it. We can
what I want to.
We can do this all day, and
can talk about how it
we
was
can
mean
look
to
at
you all
every
day.
tweet that we all sent or that everyone sent to each other, and all the mean little things. And that's what everyone, all the people that I think are the bad actors in this, and all the people that just want us to relentlessly fight.
all they want.
There's nothing that's going to make them happier than to watch you two just scream at each other. So
Right.
So I am going to try to get it to something a little above that. Okay,
I don't want to see that. But yeah, Dave, you've had an opportunity to moderate this, and you've basically just let Candace run the fucking show so far. It's highly disappointing. I like your bro beard though. It's coming in quite nicely.
made the site, you made what was referred to in your documents as a non-functioning splash page.
Correct.
You are acknowledging that it did take in information,
Right.
meaning that people could submit information, but it was Facebook pages and things of that matter. You are not
Facebook pages.
denying that.
No,
So
absolutely
do
not denying
you
that.
accept that?
Denying what? Sorry.
That the site that was being referred to as a non-functioning splash page
Had a database.
Did take information.
Right,
you were
correct.
not denying that.
No, not at all.
Now, as I understand the definition of doxing, but this is, I think, where maybe we could get a little lost in the exact specifics, is that doxing would only be if that information was released, right? I don't think doxing is taking in information.
And it has to be personal information.
So you're saying, well, you're just
an address, an email address, something that you could stalk and harass that person.
Just to be clear, all the site did was take in public information.
Public
correct?
information. That's why they were linked. This is what was so funny, like watching this like ridiculous stream with them. Is like he's like, yeah, I know that these profiles are real because I found people on Facebook. We found the people on public. We didn't even find them. Like we didn't search for people's names. It was like publicly on Facebook. Like if you jump in on CNN's wall. And by the way, this was all for a test. This was all for a test. So even us taking those names, these weren't people that we were even going to have on database. Period. It was just a testing phase so that we could go out to investors and get funded. That was it.
Okay,
so
now let's pause for a second. I want to give you an
opportunity. Here's a huge problem,
okay.
especially saying that it was a testing phase.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of those people that were in your database were doxed. Were actually doxed. Again,
what do you mean they were actually doxed? Say what doxed means to you.
If you look at the Kiwi Farms link that people are spreading around, there are people posting in that thread, sharing their personal addresses, and yes,
that's bullshit. There was never. I'm not going to let you do that. There was never a line for that to be included on my website. I don't care what Kiwi Farms did because they doxed me too.
Listen, they didn't get the address from your website. See, if you let
so then I didn't dox them.
Listen,
hold on. Let her finish.
When you create a digital, basically hit list of online bullies, you're enabling vigilantes to go onto there and enact doxing whatever they want to do. These people's businesses were. She's
now accusing me of what Kiwi Farms did. This is crazy.
Well,
if I take a screenshot of your name and your tweet,
tell me what this looks like.
It's not from my website. So how
I know it's not from your website. The point is,
I'm sorry. I'm being nitpicky, Blair. That's just. It's just not what you do in a debate. Well, I am old school, so I don't know. Maybe this is the millennial debate. I mean, as far as need of sources go, Candace has it better. I mean, yeah, I would say she could use a mobile device, tablet. I mean, Dave's got one there. I don't know. It's just, I think if nothing else, tablet would have been a little bit more professional, but whatever. Blair isn't about looking like a professional, and that's fine. Okay, moving on. Like I said, I'm just being nitpicky.
Is when you create an online digital hit list of online bullies.
This was done for this. I'm sorry. This was done for this.
Someone's address someone got because
Can I ask you a question? What year was that posted? What year was that posted?
It was last year, the same time everything happened with their website. It was last year.
Yeah, because Zoe Quinn attacked us.
That's the second time. I let the first one go. Second time, no. Not Candace. That's just not what you do. I mean, I would take Blair's phone over the. So fucking childish.
Started trying.
All right.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point.
Just to be.
I'm not sure that you're making a point, Candace. And if there's a point to be made, it's not always the fault of the receiver of your point that if they're not understanding it, because you're not stating your point in a salient way for even one of the most mundane type of people to be able to understand it. You have to make your points in a way that people, regardless of IQ or intelligence, wait, is that the same thing? Can understand it easily. It's not their fault if you can't do it.
Just to be clear, she doxed my family on Kiwi Farms.
Okay, hang on a second. So just to be clear, what you're showing me here.
And that sucks, and that's horrible. I
don't care. Honestly, it wasn't that serious. I think even that is being blown. Unfortunately, nothing happened. Everybody's alive. It was just like, nobody. It's been 18 months. Nothing happened. There were pictures and names. That is all you guys have ever been able to do. That's on Kiwi Farms. You're not on Social Autopsy.
Listen to me. On your website, pictures and names. On your website.
So she's admitting it's pictures and names. How the hell is that a dox? You can Google someone's name and get pictures. Is that a dox?
Hold on. You're concerned.
Oh my God. My point is the intent, Candace. The point is when you create a digital hit list of people who are online bullies, especially when it comes to, a lot of the times it's conservatives and people who are on this, the reason why these people are on there, you can see their comments that they made, the reason why they're put on the website.
Okay, but
vigilantes then go to this website. The point is that it was a trash idea. It was an Orwellian nightmare. People went to it, abused it.
It never launched.
I'm aware, but the information, the database was still accessible from people. That is the problem. You never officially launched it, and thank God, it never came to full fruition. However, that information was still accessible. It was abused, and these people were doxxed. People's businesses were put out there. People's home addresses.
Can I just ask you a question? To play devil's advocate here.
Just give me one sec. She did make one distinction there, which is that it wasn't your site
and that's
that
the most
did
important
the doxing.
Thing. Okay.
So but that's an important.
That was never my argument.
But I think it's important that we at least get that out. So you're not.
I would like to play devil's advocate. I have a question. Okay. So my website had a picture and a name, and you said their intentions were clear. So if I go on Facebook right now and I look under a post under CNN, okay, and I see that a person says something that I don't like.
It's public. However,
I didn't finish my goddamn question. Calm down. Take a deep breath.
You calm down.
Calm down. Seriously.
You're cursing and yelling.
Seriously, calm down. Calm down.
Okay, Candace. Okay.
Damn is the worst. You've been calling me a fraud ass bitch and all these names, but now she's a.
Yeah. Okay, I get that, but you know what? The two of you are face to face, and no. She's been Blair's been pretty respectful towards you at this point, Candace. So yeah, you kind of get over yourself.
She's offended by damn.
Sorry for that, but you're not above it because you called tree.
I mean, yeah, you're not above it because you did say Tree Logic was a drug, was a crack hit, which I think Blair was about to say.
Stop.
You call people
I genuinely think she's on drugs.
Honestly, I think you're both.
You don't, Candace. It was something mean and spiteful to say. You don't believe she's on fucking drugs. Shut up.
I actually think you're both above it. We can get
Let me finish my question. So if you're saying that the point is that people can find something, follow my train of thought. People can find something that they don't like and they think that this person, it's a hit list, okay? What's stopping the person from why do you have to go to social autopsy? Just go onto Facebook and go where we got it.
Because if you look at the comments from the people who actually used your website to dox people, and again, they dox them, not you. If you listen to people commenting, they're saying, this is the resource we're using. They went to you as a resource to collect names, and they dox those people based on the mean comments that they said online. That's the reason why they chose to hurt them. That's what happened.
Why not just go to Facebook and look for mean comments? That's what we did. Why do you need a database?
You can do that. The problem is
this is making no sense.
You're not understanding.
It's like you're not understanding. It's already on Facebook. You're upset at the second source, now looking at the first source.
No, when you create a digital hit list of online bullies,
you're calling it a digital hit list. You're changing the narrative here.
People who want to take advantage of that will go to it and they will dox people, and it happened.
If they really want to do that, why don't they go to Facebook? Why are you waiting for us to do it?
Do you admit that people were doxed as a result of social
autopsy? No, I've never said. No, absolutely not. I have no idea.
Really? No one was doxed as a result of your website.
I have no idea. You didn't bring us information. You're now asking me what could have happened. For all I know, you put this up today.
I didn't put it. Everyone can go to Kiwi Farms and look up. I'm sure if you Google Kiwi.
Okay, but she's showing me something that's not my web. This is crazy to me. This is like
conspiracy. For all I know, you did this.
Never said it was your website.
Hold on, we got
it. You said I was doxing people. Your exact words was I was doxing people. You tweeted out that I doxed people. You didn't say this could be abused. You literally said.
Oh, she wound up with Blair's phone.
You said I doxed people.
That's what I'm saying now.
Was that true? Was that true?
Used your website.
Was that true to say I doxed people? Was that true?
Directly, a social autopsy did not dox people.
So then take it back. Take it back. You tweeted something that was false. Take it back.
What did I tweet exactly?
She doxes people.
No, I didn't. I said.
Yes, you did.
I directly.
Yes, you did.
Listen, I directly tweeted to you. So you're proud of doxing people with a question mark, as in a question. That was your chance to clear it up.
Well, to be fair, that question was asked in a way that would insist that she is doxing people. Better question would have been, so let's see, so you're okay with doxing people? The question would be, are you okay? No? So you're okay with doxing people. There had to have been a better way to construct that if it was a sincere question. Yeah, I think if you take the so out of it and just ask, are you okay with doxing people? It would have seemed more like a sincere question. When you start off a question with so, it just really it takes away the intellectual honesty and the genuine, no, what's the word? Anyway, it takes away the genuineness the question. I'm sorry. I just insist on getting that word out, even if it's wrong.
But
Ladies,
no.
ladies.
There you go, Dave. That's one thing that you've been doing that's been bugging me. You keep saying guys. Okay. Although, again, biologically, Blair's a guy. Let's just stick with the lady thing.
Jumped on a stream and said that I dox people 1,000 times, and then you clarified a couple of days on.
Ruben, I mean, seriously, I know you need the hits. I know you do. Shut the damn thing down. Just shut it down. Say, shut up. Politely. Get this shit under control, okay? I'm sorry. But you are letting mostly Candace get away with running the damn debate, okay? If you're going to moderate. Actually, you need to regulate is what the fuck you need to do right now, Dave. Cut the shit.
On Twitter, when I asked you straight up, you said all I said was that you dox people.
All right, ladies.
You have been saying I dox people. Don't backtrack. It's cool to be wrong. I just said...
Well, see, here's the damn thing about it, Candace. If you hadn't blocked Blair, you could probably go even screenshot. If you had screen capped that tweet, you could prove it. I have no reason to believe that what you're saying is actually what happened. I think it's just your perception of what Blair had said.
I just said I misused the word splash page. Why can't you say that you lied about doxing?
Candace, listen. If I misspoke and said that you directly dox people, that's incorrect. But I will say right now, just listen. Just listen. You almost jumped. Just listen. I will say your website was used as a resource for doxers. It was, and you're looking.
Okay.
Look back. That's a big deal.
All right, guys, you gotta grant me a second here to.
One question. What do you expect, Candace, when you create a website that attaches people and their mean comments to their employers, their school, etc.? What do you think is actually going to be the result of that? People are going to call the school. People are going to call them. That's what's going to happen.
All right, let's pause for a second.
That's the result of the website.
Okay, so with that question in mind, okay, first off, I think she is. All right, it sounds to me, if we could just try to calm for a second.
Can we get more water for Blair? Stagehand or somebody in production, can we, just bring out the water pitcher, fill Blair's glass up. I think the reason why Blair is taking in so much water, not because she's retaining. If she was retaining, maybe she wouldn't need it. I don't know. I'm not a female. I don't know. Well, okay, crossing the line. Let me just move on before I dig myself in a hole here.
You are acknowledging that that the site itself was not doxing people, but that the lists, and what you're saying is I can't control.
Right? And then holding onto my phone and then someone going, oh, people use that to dox Chelsea, so you're at fault. That's crazy. That literally doesn't make sense.
No, there's a complete difference.
And it never, by the way, let's not get lost. So this site never launched. Yeah. It never launched.
It never launched, but it might as well have because the information was still accessible and it was accessed.
Guys, pause.
I saw like 6 or 7.
All right, let's pause for a second.
And all those people were hurt as a result of your website.
All right, let's pause for a second. You acknowledge that this was misguided now.
I've said it every interview.
So I think that's a slight...
But you didn't take the damn page down. Misguided? Okay, cool. You admit you were misguided on this. You never took the page down until the video started coming out. Now, it's possible you forgot about it and never did anything with it. Okay? But you're not, you are playing defense so much on this when you could have gone on the offense. And you just, you so missed an opportunity to take control of the situation.
That's an important piece here. So I don't think she's denying that another site could have grasped this information and then done the doxing. You're acknowledging that her site did not do the doxing, and she's acknowledging that it was misguided.
I've said that 1,000 times, which is why this is just a witch hunt, because I've already
said
that.
I am going to pause this here. I'm going to keep streaming. I tried to get Tree in here, but Tree said she was just about to go and do her own call-in show. And it looks like that's already started. And it does appear as though she's talking about the aftermath of this debate here. So we're going to go in. I'm going to try to get this. I Actually, let me do it this way. And let's see here. Okay.
YouTube channel. And you are damaging my credibility not only as a decent person,
I'm going to mute my mic
as
here
a
for a
former
second.
police officer, but also
And,
as a certified fitness instructor. I'm coming for you, girl. I'm coming. But see, here's what's going to fuck you up. You're never going to know when I'm coming for you. But I promise you, you made that accusations today. I'm calling. The clinics are all closed now. They all closed today.
I'll tell you what. Actually, I'm going to stop the stream here so I can do this because I don't really want to. I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable live streaming because I'm going to call into her show, and we'll do whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this. I may pick it up later. I might not, just because I feel like this is pretty much the whole debate here. But yeah, if go to I'm going to go ahead and put this in the description as well. Go to Tree's live talk-in show or call-in show. And I think it'd be good to Treese's. Son of a bitch. Tree's got a good channel. I think I like her. And if you happen to catch this, go ahead and go to it. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me for the time being. Thanks for joining in, or thanks for watching this little bit of it. And what? Oh, okay. And I will catch y'all on the flippity flop. Bye.